Welcome back to the shop. I'm Kirk Anderson. Today's episode is finally finishing the Outfeed assembly table. It's been 3 months in the making. When I first started setting up the shop, I built the base to the Outfeed assembly table. And the main reason for that was I wanted the storage that it provided, as I have drawers in the base. But I finally got to it and built the top. Now the top is based on Ron Paulk's design. Of course, it's not the same because his is mobile and this one is not. It's static. It won't leave the shop. It's a couple of 100 pounds. So it's staying where it's at. I do have the base on casters. So I can roll it around in the shop, but to take it outside the shop, probably not going to happen. Having an outfeed table for the table saw, it's kind of like having a car. You know, when you have it, you kind of just take it for granted. But when you don't have it, boy, do you miss it. I really like making these videos. So to help me out, if you would, like the video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So, with that, let's get into the build. Well, first, I broke down the plywood with a track saw. I used 3/4 inch plywood on this, which is different from Ron Paulk's where he uses 1/2 inch, which definitely increased the weight of the table. Then I brought it to the table saw and cut it to the final width. I took a couple of pieces to make templates for the cubby holes. I actually had to make 2 templates because the way I designed the table, I actually had 2 different size holes. Now once I marked everything out with pencil, it was time to cut the holes out. I just started by drilling a hole and then cutting it out with a jigsaw. And I made sure to stay well outside the line. Then I just took the templates to the oscillating spindle sander and sanded them to the lines. Now it was time to cut out the holes in the sides with the jigsaw. There again, I marked it out and I made sure to cut outside the lines. That way, I could now use the template and use a flush trim routing bit with the router to make all the holes the same. Well, I also manufactured a piece to put in the center of the hole. That's so the router would stay straight. Then I just took a 1/8 inch roundovering bit to round over the inside edges of the holes. Then it was time to sand the edges of the holes. Now this took a while because I have a total of 17 holes that needed to be sanded. Then I marked up the pieces of where I wanted to drill the pocket holes. Imagine that, I'm using pocket hole screws in my build. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I do like pocket hole screws, especially for shop projects. And then it was time to sand the faces of the sides. And the main reason for this was to sand the pencil marks off the sides. Of course, not only are the sides going to be attached with pocket hole screws, but with glue. Put the glue on, spread it out, and as you can see here also, I have a level clamped to this piece. The reason is, after a while, this piece was not that straight anymore. So, I clamped a level to it to straighten it out. And there, I lost one of my video lights. They're battery operated, and I'm about to lose the other one. So I charged up the batteries, and of course I didn't stop my build. So here you see me attaching one of the other sides with the pocket hole screws. Now, I may have overdone it a little bit with the pocket hole screws, but I just wanted to ensure that the sides were firmly attached, especially to the top, which that's the top because the table is basically upside down right now. If I recall right, I counted the pocket hole screws, and I have a total of 215 pocket hole screws in this. Now there's the inside completed, just waiting for the top, which will actually be the bottom, to be put on. Now, I'm not using pocket hole screws to put the bottom in. First of all, it'd be really difficult to get in there to put them in. So I'm just using regular screws, I'm pre-drilling, countersinking, and then just driving them in. And of course, I did also glue it. And then once it was attached, I just flushed the edge with a flush trim router bit. I didn't get a video of me turning this over, and it weighs, if not 200 pounds, close to it. I had a neighbor of mine come over to help me turn it over. Now I just put some polyurethane on it, and that's more to protect it from any types of glue spills or anything like that, so it can be easily scraped off. And boy, like I said, it is just so nice having that outfeed table. I made it so the table was about 1/8 of an inch lower than the table saw. And now that cut piece just slides right onto that outfeed table. Well, this build was 3 months in the making. It was one of the first things that I had planned on building when I was setting up the new shop, and it took me 3 months to get to it. But there it is, and boy do I love it. This is one thing about making things for the shop yourself. You can custom make it. This table, it's not 4x8. It's not 3x6, it's about 3.5 by 7. It's custom made for my shop. I wanted as big as a table as I can get and still have a lot of room around it. Well, that's it for this one. So hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And remember, just get out there and cut some wood.